Let's get started. I know a few of you have been in here for a while. So firstly, hi and welcome to Fridays with FORE. We've hosted an AMA pretty much every month since our community launch, and we've always wanted to make sure that things can be as accessible as possible because we know that we have a very global community. So we have prioritized written AMAs for the most part, but we understand that as we get closer to launch, although this format is less accessible, it's important for you guys to be able to see and meet us, the faces behind the avatar, behind the scenes, and ultimately behind the project, the project that you guys have all dedicated so much time to. We firstly thank you guys for being here. For those who couldn't make it, obviously we will be recording this and transcribing it as well for translation as well. So this AMA is going to be an exciting one for us, and hopefully for you guys too, because we are going to be touching on what we've been working so hard on behind the scenes for the last few months. I know we've had a ton of questions that come in from you guys, but we've been coordinating so many moving parts to get to TGE and to launch, and I'm excited to be able to answer your questions and share what's coming in the months and the year ahead, because it's really going to be a busy time. So the three of us on this call, but also many others in the FORE team, have been building for a year and a half now, which seems crazy to be almost at the point of launch. And we've had a number of milestones in this time. Thousands of you on our testnet, 250 million FORE transacted on in just 12 weeks, and many more in terms of community growth as well. But ultimately, the biggest milestones are still to come, and they're just around the corner. And that's FORE's TGE, FORE's listing on exchanges, and the launch of FORE Protocol itself. So I know you guys have a ton of questions on these in particular, so thank you for submitting those. But before we get into that, I think it'd be good if we can do a little bit of an introduction for newcomers, and just kind of give a bit of background on the team behind FORE. So Merv, if you want to kick that off.
Yeah, sure, happy to. Well, I think I've probably spoken to a lot of you in the community here, but it's good to finally say hello to you all in person and in real time. But my name is Merv. My background is kind of the intersection of finance and technology. So I've done a lot in terms of investing, in early stage businesses. But really, a lot of my career was spent working for Wall Street, working in private equity and restructuring of distressed businesses. I kind of was an early adopter of blockchain technology, and I've kind of been active in the space as an investor, and kind of early evangelist, really since like 2015. It's been kind of great to see the overall ecosystem grow, but above all, really have an opportunity, to work with an amazing team, to kind of identify particular problems in the real world that we can advance, with this particular technology. That's sort of the genesis of FORE. And genesis of the team here. So I guess I'll pause there and hand it back to you, Timothy. I'll give you a brief there.
Yeah, I just had a notification from someone that there is the max number of people in the channel, so that's a nice sign. But for anyone who wasn't able to make it, sorry, we will be publishing this on various channels. But thank you for the intro, Merv. Andreas, if you want to give a bit of background to everyone here.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Cynthia. Thanks everyone for joining us. I think it's important to take a moment just to thank all of you guys for the incredible support that is shown, and obviously reading the maximum amount on Discord is a big deal. So we're really humbled and really appreciate it. So thanks. So I'm Andreas. I've been focused on a lot of things behind the scenes. Seen me a little bit on Discord on and off. But really responsible for the operations side of the business, in particular, how we handle feedback and how we build out the product, and then everything from team stuff and contracts and to the processes that make the protocol tick in the background. So it's been exciting. It's been incredible to see what we've put forward, and the feedback has been, like I said, unbelievable. And thank you again for everything. It's very humbling, and we're excited to bring what we have coming forward and put forward a product that we can all be proud of.
Cool. So I'll finish with me. I'm Timothea. Interacted with a lot of you guys on Discord and Telegram. I'm one of the co-founders of FORE. I've spent the majority of my career in traditional marketing, particularly within the fintech sector, the last decade or so, mostly across data, mobile, and payments. But spent the last 5 years of that in the DeFi space, most recently as CMO of an exchange aggregator. We managed to have one of the most successful token sales of 2020 at that project, and became one of the top 100 market cap projects within a year during the bull run. That was a great time, but we're going to get back there. Left a year and a half ago to start FORE with this team here, and so proud of what we built so far and everything to come. So thank you again. I'm glad that we could have some kind of FaceTime with you guys. And we'll definitely make a point of doing so more. So before that, I think, let's just jump into the questions. You submitted hundreds of questions on Discord and Twitter, and there's a lot of questions on, very valid and interesting questions on, the NFT validation, the tiers, the creator model. But today we really wanted to focus on the immediate milestones ahead. So public sale, TGE, what that looks like, and give you information that we haven't already shared with you, because a ton of questions that cover really intricate kind of details of the tech, but that's not pertinent to events that are about to occur. So we focused on that for your questions. I think the first one we can start off with. Also, hopefully we have some live questions at the end as well. As always, we do have a reward pool for the best questions asked, so don't be shy and get involved. So I think we can kick off with this one, as we had teased a new chain integration, but we hadn't told you who it was yet. So which blockchain will FORE be deploying on? Merv, I can probably take that one.
Yeah, you jumped in on that one. And I know
also, Merv, sorry to interrupt your sounds in the laugh. I don't know if it's AirPods.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll probably address this question, and then we can kind of figure out the technical difficulties. But I know this has been a topic of a lot of questions in the community, and we're really excited in terms of launching in general. But before I kind of answer the direct question of which blockchain will we be launching on, I think it's important to kind of understand how we made that decision, and what the different factors were that we kind of considered to identify the appropriate blockchain that we can maximize our growth and also our contribution to the broader ecosystem. So as you guys know, FORE Predict is a peer-to-peer predictions market provider, and so as part of that, there are a lot of touch points with the blockchain, and because users have to interact so often with the blockchain, gas fees are a big consideration, right? So we need to, number one, first and foremost, for our users' experience and for you all, is making sure that we're facilitating a very seamless user experience in the creation and settlement of markets. In looking at all of the existing blockchains, both kind of the large legacy providers, but then also like new and growing blockchains, with strong communities, we really felt that Arbitrum really fit the bill in terms of a great overlap of both high growth, but then also really low gas fees, and the technology that kind of underlies the Arbitrum blockchain is pretty impressive, and without getting into kind of the technical details here. So yeah, I mean, really excited to announce that we'll be partnering with Arbitrum for our launch. Those conversations have already been underway. FORE has really been built from an infrastructure perspective in a way that is completely scalable, and we've already implemented a variety of other blockchains. So ultimately, FORE will be and already is chain agnostic. But the way that we feel makes the most sense to launch the product is partnering with an Arbitrum, really growing alongside and contributing to the growth of the overall ecosystem with FORE Predict. So hopefully that answers the question, and you all are excited as we are in the future.
I'll also add that we are yet to announce that, so you guys are the first to hear that. I know a lot of you guys have already guessed that, and we've teased it, but we will be announcing that next week and kind of starting activity around that as well. So the next question is, what are the steps to participating in FORE's public sale? Are there any specific requirements or restrictions for participating? And this is from CryptoFan071 on Twitter. I would also add, just so you guys are aware, the previous question was from Jeremy H. Ton of numbers, but we'll be tagging all of the participants after anyway. So I guess I will jump in on this one in terms of FORE's public sale. So the public round is going to occur in 3 phases. So we have the community round, we'll have an IDO on a launchpad, and a IEO, initial exchange offering, on a centralized exchange. So while the majority of the public round is already committed to these partners, which are going to bring a ton of awareness to FORE, as well as filling the round itself, but I think ultimately it becomes an exercise in marketing awareness and sort of attracting new users and holders to the community, first and foremost. We wanted to make sure that we reserved a portion of this public sale for the FORE community. And so that's why we're making sure that you guys are going to get kind of first priority. We're starting this before any of the other rounds, and we're launching that today. So how that's going to work, we're going to be sharing just after this kind of all the details. But essentially, we wanted to keep it simple. I'm sure all of you guys have, in some capacity, seen or participated in IDOs, and it's so complex. There's so many layers to it. It's unnecessary convoluted. We wanted to just keep it simple. In order to participate in FORE's public round, you sign up to a whitelist. You'll then, the whitelist will close on the 19th of June. You're then given 48 hours to complete KYC. And then shortly after that, it'll be a first come, first served basis until the allocation is filled. We felt like that was a fair way to be able to allow everyone to participate if they wanted to, and obviously if they meet the necessary KYC requirements. But there's also another layer to it, because we wanted to, at FORE we're always about incentives and kind of gamifying things, so we wanted to add another layer to the public sale. So when you enter the whitelist, you are given a referral link, and you can share that referral link with your friends, with your family, and that every time a new person signs up to the public sale, you receive another entry. And the more entries you have, the higher your chance of winning 100,000 FORE. So that's one person with, will be chosen from all of the different entries to win 100,000 FORE. Again, this is just it's an additional way to kind of gamify and grow our network further. You guys have already proven so beneficial in helping grow our ecosystem through your networks, and we're really excited to see how this will work from a public sale perspective as well. So we will be posting all of the details on that just after the AMA, so get sharing. We'll also be kicking off a number of KOL and marketing partnerships today to start driving awareness of our public sale as we enter this new phase. But you guys should get in there first and start bringing attention to that yourselves and creating your own links. But I think the more eyes that we can get onto this, the better for all of us. And I'm really excited for the next 6 weeks ahead, because ultimately this is the time that really all of the there's a ton of attention on a project pre TGE and listing, and I'm excited for us to be able to capitalize on that and build on that as well with all of you. So I think an important question off the back of that would be, is KYC necessary before I get whitelisted? I think Andreas, you're probably best to answer that one.
Yeah, and Cynthia, I think you touched on it just there a little bit, but in long and short of it is yes, it's going to be a fairly simple process, but fairly thorough process. We want to make sure that everything's covered in the sense that we'll be following the UN standard, the standard sanctioned UN list for the requirements for KYC and for anti-money laundering, AML, and that will be the basic screening. And then there'll also be some blockages from some other countries for some strategic regions, one of them being the USA. I just want to take a moment to discuss our legal counsel, which, while we can't announce the name of the firm quite yet, which will be coming in the next weeks, we've partnered with a very strong and experienced legal counsel that operates all over the world, but offices are based here in Southeast Asia. And we're looking forward to putting this process in place. But yeah, it's under the best advisement possible.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we've shared details on some of our advisors to date, but these just kind of scratch the surface. I don't know if some of you guys recently saw advisors coming from Axie, from Boeing. You know, there's a pretty impressive list, and we look forward to sharing the legal background as well. So I think we can move on to the next question. The public sale will have some vesting or something similar to avoid the possible initial sale. Merv, if you want to touch on that one.
Yeah, sure. And again, thanks for all the great questions. Hopefully you all can hear me a little bit better. If I had to change, swap out the AirPods, so let me know if that is better. But at any rate, yeah. So I think the question is related to vesting on public sale, and the short answer is there will be a portion that's vested on TGE, and the tokens will vest linearly over the ensuing 6 months, and that's linearly block by block, and so that's sort of the general structure. You may ask why that's the case, and generally what we did is undertake a big and pretty sophisticated study to try to model out the optimal release schedule of tokens and the emission of tokens, pretty much to balance out the new creation of supply with the deflationary mechanism as we get broader adoption and the protocol, and to kind of balance those two. And so what we've found is across all the tranches, kind of determining what the optimal vesting schedule, would be, and that's sort of how we determine it. So, overall, we're really excited that people will have access.
Obviously, even though the AMA is not focused on this, I still wanted to address that. So the next question is very curious to know where FORE will be listed first. Is it a decentralized exchange or a centralized exchange? So I was going to put that to you, Merv, but I still think that the speaker's still a little bit funny, so I'll just take that. FORE is going to be live for trading on both centralized and decentralized exchanges on the 30th of June. So we made it into Q2. We can't disclose right now those specific exchanges, but the centralized exchange in particular that we've chosen for not just a listing, but an initial exchange offering as well, which allows us to tap into a ton of their high net worth user base through their staking model, is among the top 3 platforms, exchanges in the world, worldwide in terms of traffic right now. So anyway, this is a huge milestone for us. And again, I think it's really going to set the scene for everything that's to come for the future. So I think that ties in nicely actually to the next question, which is what plans does FORE have in 2023? I'm feeling incredibly bullish right now. Same. But Andreas, if you want to take that one.
I would say the whole team is feeling the same way. So, look, there's a lot of things to be super excited about coming up. First, we have TG, we've got listing, then we've got the mainnet launch, then we got fiat on ramp, we've got gamification of the protocol, we've got real world partners coming. I mean, there's just a laundry list of things that are just going to snowball once we get going here. So it's a really exciting time. I don't want to spill too many of the beans, but yeah, it's just stick with us, guys, because it's going to be awesome. We're all really bullish right now. Great question.
Yeah, and I think one of the key things that we've been working on at the moment as well is building FORE Predict on your feedback. And we always wanted this to be an iterative process. So when we do launch FORE Predict on mainnet, it's not going to be the finished version. I think ultimately it will never be the finished version, because we will continually be building with you, new market structures to come that we've already built the smart contracts for, new chain integrations. So yeah, there's so much to come, and I'm excited to. There's so many things that even are being recommended by our community members. So there's going to be things that we're developing in a year from now that aren't even on our roadmap. So yeah, I just thank you guys again, and I'm excited to be building alongside you all, really, because that's really the kind of company that we wanted to build. Building a people-powered predictions ecosystem, not because we think it's right, but because you guys think it's right, and you think this is what you expect to see from a platform like this. So I guess that's. Thanks. So yeah, I guess really just to summarize before we jump into community questions, kind of the key points, the key takeaways for you guys from today is the public sale whitelist is going live today, literally just after the MA. We're going to be publishing it, but if you want to get there ahead of then, you can find it at foreprotocol.io/public-sale, and you can find out more details there. So just again, after the public round closes, the FORE community public round closes on the 19th. We are going to have the whitelisted wallets will be KYC'd. And then after all of that allocation has been claimed on a first come first served basis, we will be moving into launchpad activity, followed by centralized exchange, IEO, marketing, and then finally the token listing itself on June 30th. So we have about 6 weeks, a little bit less until that time, and it's going to be busy. And I thank everyone here for being here. There's a lot of familiar avatars who've already been so helpful in building our community so far. And so, yeah, I'm excited for all of us to be moving into that next phase together. And just thank you guys again. So I think we should probably open it up to community questions. I know these don't come in that often on a kind of voice AMA, but would love to hear any questions you guys have on what you just heard or other plans for the future.
And quiet again.
We answered everything.
You did.
No, it's okay. We understand. It happens with voice AMAs, but even if you have questions, you don't necessarily want to say it now. We're always active in Telegram and Discord, and really welcome your feedback and your insight. So, I guess if there are no questions, Leon, if you have one in mind, I know you were asking a few in the channels, but I appreciate all of your time, and we will be sharing this as a recap, and look out for the announcement regarding the public sale, the increased activity across all social channels through third parties and partners, and keep working with us, and thank you for supporting FORE.
Thanks everyone. Have a great Fourth Friday.
Thank you all.
Thank you guys.